from.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Rain, and today I have a special video. Season 5 is coming to an end towards the end of this month on August 28th. Season 6 will start shortly after on August 31st, and I just want to kind of reflect on Season 5 and look forward to Season 6. Talk about some improvements, what can be worked upon, what can be, bettered. And some ideas are going to be a little more radical than others, so I hope you guys bear with me, hear me out. But I definitely think some of the suggestions I'm about to make will drastically improve the comp experience. I'm looking forward to Season 6. I believe everyone is. Season 5 has been really rough for a lot of people for different reasons. In all honesty, it was probably the worst season for me, and I think a lot of people can concur. It was rough. There was a lot of issues with Season 5. I feel like maybe towards the end, like right now, the comp is not too bad. It's playing really well, but for the majority of the season, it's been rough. And we're definitely going to go into a lot of the issues that kind of plagued Season 5, like matchmaking, throwers, trolls, one-tricks, unbalanced SR gain and loss. The list goes on. So I'm going to go over some changes I would like to see for Season 6 and for the future of Overwatch in general. I believe that it could, definitely improve the gaming experience overall if we take these steps. Some ideas I mentioned are a little more radical, some I feel are easy fixes. And now keep in mind, right, nobody is saying one person is right, the other is wrong. Everyone has their own perspective, their own experience. These are just ideas and suggestions. We're having a discussion for the betterment of the game that we all love. I mean, I love Overwatch, and I've said that before, and I know balancing is not easy, but I know the team, the Overwatch team, is passionate about the game, and so any feedback we give to them, I feel can be of some help. So the first point I want to touch on is the roster. Now, Overwatch, we've had a couple of big events in Season 5, mainly Doomfist. I mean, I love Doomfist. The hero is great. He is everything a new hero should be. He's cool. He has cool lore. He looks awesome. He's fun to play, and he's strong. He's usable. He has carry potential. He's definitely viable in comp in many scenarios. So that's good. I mean, we had Orisa. That wasn't the greatest, introduction. She's gonna be improved upon, which is great. But I mean, just off the rip, it wasn't the most enjoyable hero to play. Doomfist, on the other hand, was incredible. Is incredible, right? Now, originally he was slated to be a tank, but they moved him to DPS, which kind of leads me to my main point here. There are way too many DPS heroes in this game, and it makes it difficult for people to kind of pick other heroes because a lot of them are not good, and I'll tell you why. Now, if you think about the classes that we have, right? We have attack, defense, tank, and healers. The defense class in and of itself is totally ambiguous. To me, that class is just so random. Half of those heroes in that class are not even defense heroes. I mean, you would never really want to run a Widow or a Hanzo on defense unless you're like incredible with them and you can make it work in any situation. But majority of the time, they're pick heroes, so you pick them on offense so that you can get a pick and open it up for your team. You don't want to run them on defense. It's not a great idea. So the fact that they're in the defense class is odd. I believe that they need to rearrange the classes to an extent. I mean, what is the defense class anyway? To me, it needs to be adjusted. I think that if you actually move certain heroes to different classes, it will kind of help with the problem of people constantly picking DPS heroes. I could be wrong, but I have a theory that if you actually move Widow and Hanzo to the DPS class, people will be less inclined to pick them if they see that they already have a Soldier or a McCree. It just kind of visually gives you like a signal that, whoa, there's just way too many DPS heroes on this team. I think that for some reason subconsciously they pick these heroes because they're not DPS heroes and they're in the defense class. It kind of gives them some kind of leeway. I know that may sound crazy, but I just think that it would help to an extent if these heroes were actually moved into the correct class. But we'll definitely get into more like structured solutions. Now, some heroes may need to be adjusted. I mean, Doomfist, as I mentioned, was supposed to be a tank. I think he could still be a tank, I honestly do. I mean, I guess the overall problem is there's just not enough tanks and healers in the game to kind of really make people want to play these particular heroes, because one, their impact is not that great, and two, there's just not that many to choose from, considering like half the roster is literally DPS heroes. I mean, of course, a lot of people are gonna main DPS heroes. It's just bound to happen. The numbers are not on our side, right? Now, I'm a flex player. I can play anything. Well, almost anything. I'm not that great at support, but tank and DPS, I can manage. To kind of expand, I mean, Doomfist was supposed to be a tank, right? They moved him to DPS. Now, currently, there's more viable tanks now after the recent buff, but originally at the beginning of the season it was literally just 2 tanks that you can use. That was Winston D.Va. If you ran anything else, you would probably just get stomped, and that was very unfortunate, and it made the game very stale very quick, right? Because I know some people in lower ranks really enjoy D.Va, but the higher you go, I mean, you want to play heroes that are a little more technically and mechanically demanding. It's more of a challenge, right? Besides like D-matrix management, I mean, and positioning, that goes for every hero. Positioning is important, but my main point is that they need to introduce more tanks and healers and make them cool and make them fun to play and make them effective like they did with Doomfist, so that people can actually stray away from constantly picking DPS heroes, so that the games and the matchmaking kind of balance itself out, and the teams are not just 4 DPS 2 heals or something along those lines, or 1 tank and 3 DPS 2 heals, or actually a lot of the times it's like 2 tanks 1 mercy and then DPS, or 3 DPS 1 tank 1, I don't know, something really random, because nobody wants to play any other like class, considering there's too many DPS heroes and there's not enough cool tanks and healers basically. Another example I want to give is Symmetra. Is she really a support? I mean, I think she's more of a defense hero. Once again, there's just too much ambiguity with the classes and the way they're set up. Certain heroes don't belong in their class. Symmetra is a perfect example. Move her to defense. Honestly, move Sombra to support. I think especially in the lower ranks, what I've noticed is people don't know what Sombra does, what she's capable of doing. You can hack health packs all day long. Your teammates won't use them unless they need to. They don't get it that if you abuse the health packs, you can get EMP every fight and just wipe the team every fight very easily. I feel if you move Sombra to support, maybe tweak her just a little bit, adjust her slightly, move her to support. I think there'll be more of an understanding on how Sombra is supposed to be used in lower ranks, and people will actually play her more, because we'll actually play her correctly. Let's put it like that, right? Because then they'll know, okay, well, I guess this kind of has to do more with lower ranks, but then they'll realize, okay, wow, this hero is a support. I need to hack the health packs, and then the teammates will use the health packs. So yeah, that was my first point, just to kind of reiterate and summarize. There needs to be more options for tanks and healers, and they need to be effective. Basically, that's all there is to it. To avoid having people constantly pick DPS, because half the roster is DPS, half the defense class is DPS characters that you want to pick on offense, you don't want to pick on defense. Okay, this leads me to my second point. Let's get into buffs and nerfs. Do not buff characters like Junk and Symmetra and Torb. These characters, I'm just gonna put it, as blunt as possible. They're not mechanically demanding whatsoever. They don't require much thinking in general on how to, operate these heroes. They're fun to play, yes, I understand, and they could be somewhat decent in comp. But if you continue to buff these characters and you kind of make them somewhat effective, but you don't make them meta, basically people are just gonna one-trick these heroes more. One-tricks was a big problem in season 5. People only play one hero and one hero only, no matter what situation. Attack Torb, attack Sim. It doesn't work. These heroes, they're not meta. They can be countered very easily, and of course you always get the stubborn players on your team, or God forbid you get them on the other team, where they just run attack Sim and attack Torb. They won't switch, and it just makes the game very boring, right? Now we'll get into the the whole argument about, oh, you can run whatever you want, this, that, and the other, we'll get into that later on in the video. But right now I just want to focus on strictly buffs and nerfs, right? Now, in my opinion, if you buff heroes like Junkrat, and you're gonna see like in this video, when I was playing Doomfist, you're gonna see me die to Junkrat in the most like random occurrences, and he's not even looking at me, he's not even aiming at me, he's just lobbing bombs in a general like vicinity, and it just hits you while you're trying to like outmaneuver, outskill the other team. He's just lobbing these gigantic hitbox grenades that do so much damage, and it just hits you out of the blue, and you're just, you know, sitting there wondering what just happened. I'm going to be very serious about this particular point because I can see it happening right now. If you continue to buff heroes like Junk, Sim, Torb, if they're not meta, then you're going to have increased one tricks. It's annoying at every rank. Lower ranks, they're not efficient enough. In higher ranks, they just can't, you know, make it work because the other team is just going to counter them. They're not going to play these games with the other team. They want to win. So if they see you go Torb or Sim, they're just going to go Pharah, and then that's going to be the end of you. Simple. It's going to be a lose-lose type situation if heroes like this continue to be buffed. It's going to be unfun to play against and just not good enough. If the enemy team wants the hard counter, you know, they're going to do it, and it just encourages one tricks, right? So to summarize my second point, buffing quote-unquote fun heroes that have hard counters, unless you make them meta, like the Junks and the Torbs and the Sims and whatnot, if you don't make these characters meta where each team actually needs one to win, if you just kind of leave them lingering like somewhere in the middle, they're not that great but they're not that bad, then you're gonna have more one tricks because they're easy mode heroes. You don't have to think a lot, you don't have to try a lot, you can just, you know, be brain dead and be effective to an extent. Unless the other team is actually somewhat competent, they'll just hard counter you and they'll just easily win. They won't switch, you know, because they're fun, they're cool, whatever. You want to be very careful about this, believe me. So that leads me to my third point, which is the competitive playlist overall. In all honesty, Season 5 was really bad in terms of, you know, all the points I mentioned earlier: toxicity, one tricks, trolls, SR balance. They need to get really strict with competitive if they want the game to survive. I mean, this is what, you know, Overwatch revolves around. The comp playlist is extremely fun and rewarding. If they don't really kind of put some strict guidelines on how to play competitive, then it's going to get really rough, and I think more and more people will begin to kind of leave this game. There's been already a few streamers that I really enjoyed watching that don't play Overwatch anymore because of Season 5, which is very unfortunate. I've never seen that happen before. Like in the previous seasons, I've never seen someone just kind of stop mid-season and be like, I don't want to play this anymore. So you know it's not going well. For example, in competitive, I don't think you should. Now, as I mentioned, some ideas are going to be a little more radical than others. I don't know if they'll be feasible or if they'll actually work. You know, but it's just an idea off the top of my head that I think that, you know, it needs to be carried out to an extent to really make this game work and to avoid having it just continue to go downhill in competitive. For example, do not allow defense heroes on offense. To me, it makes no sense. It makes the game very unfortunate when people want to troll and run defense heroes on offense. There's just no point. Like, what is the point of a defense hero on offense? Is it not kind of an oxymoron to an extent? So for example, you know, ban defense heroes on offense, right? That's one. Maybe give more SR gain for characters that are a little more hard, you know, in terms of mechanical skill. You know, there's a like some kind of rating, right? Where if you click on hero details, you can see this is a 1-star hero, this is a 2-star hero, and there's a 3-star hero, right? Maybe give more SR gain to 3-star heroes and not 1-star. And that's coming from a Roadhog main. I'm pretty sure he's only a 1-star hero, but I think that's maybe some way you can go about it. Give more SR gain to 3-star heroes so you can avoid, you know, people trying to one-trick, or make it hard for people who one-trick to climb, or people who troll to climb. You know, if they want to do that, then keep them at the lowest rank possible. I play on console, so certain heroes are not as effective, and I wish they were, like Ana for example, right? People on console have been playing Mercy since the dawn of time, and Ana's win rate on console is horrible. She's easy mode healing, her res builds so fast, you gain so much SR by playing Mercy. I mean, certain things need to be kind of adjusted, like, you know, SR gain, to really make comp viable in terms of, you know, longevity. So I mean, yeah, there's definitely needs to be some rules to have like comp be more fun to play for people who are actually, you know, into the meta. Maybe try and make it so that you can pick what hero you want to queue in with before you actually play the game. So like, say I'm going to go play comp, right? It asks you, who do you want to lock in? Who do you want to play for this session? And I lock in, say, soldier. So they put me on the team that needs a soldier, right? Something along those lines. Now this is kind of, you know, point 3.5. Kind of, I'm going to piggyback off the comp playlist, you know, argument. They need to make quick play more meaningful. I think this will help a lot. People, they go into comp because they don't want to play quick play because it's so boring, it's a waste of time, people don't try, people troll, whatever. It's quick play, nobody cares, right? So you have to, I don't have the exact answer for this, but you need to make quick play more meaningful so that people who want to play meta can just stick to competitive, and people who want to play off meta can go to quick play, but they still get some kind of benefits from it. Like for example, make it so that certain game modes are only available in quick play. Like CTF, I love CTF. It's so much fun. Just make it part of the regular kind of rotation for the quick play playlist, so that if you want to play CTF, you have to go into quick play. People who want to try hard and play meta heroes, they go to competitive because they want to have, you know, that experience, and certain people kind of ruin it for them. And the last point I kind of want to touch on is, you know, a more of a lighthearted point, more of a fun point. Maybe they can do some kind of crossover characters from different games. I don't know if they can fully add them in the game. Like say a Captain Falcon, I guess that's Doomfist. Or, you know, something along those lines. Like a Link or something they can add to the game. You know, a guy with a sword. Do we have any sword heroes in Overwatch? We have a hammer. We have Ryan. It's pretty close. But you know, if they can't actually put the entire character in the game, maybe they can just do like a skin, like a Genji Naruto skin, or like a Doomfist Captain Falcon skin. That'll be pretty cool for like a Halloween event. In any case, this has been your boy Rain. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comment section. You can tell me some of your suggestions, how we can make Overwatch better, right? So yeah, I mean, thank you for watching. You know, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Once again, this has been your boy Rain. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Victory. Play of the match.